So just to slowly rewind a little bit, we spoke a lot of theory, right?
Yeah.
So this is something we already spoke about before that, and it's something that should be starting to get seriously implemented, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We went very big into detail about neutrals on King of the Hill. And how did I specify how we should be doing that?
I mean, no, I can't remember exactly.
Okay. And obviously comps and setups. And then the biggest one was this one.
Yeah.
So that's what we discussed so far. Obviously, this has come into it, and overall individual things have come into it, obviously. There's quite a lot, obviously. So I expect this to take a while before you actually digest everything. Even if God wants it to be faster.
Hey.
This takes time.
Yeah. It was just theoretical learning, not in-game practical application.
Mm-hmm. So from there we're gonna move forward. In this map we should have defensive advantage, and here we don't even play the Ana, so apparently you don't know what you yourself play, Brennan.
Someone said they're gonna go dive, and then my head was like...
That was because Orisa was banned. Orisa was banned, so we picked Reinhardt, and if we want to hold close with Reinhardt and they choked, Moira's a little bit better with that.
Yeah, but you're never gonna do that when you are playing for spam.
I just play like an Orisa, except I don't have as much spam.
Yeah.
I've got more point presence then.
Okay.
We're never gonna play for, like... This is not our win condition.
Did we not have bans in this scrim?
We did have bans.
No,
I think
got
we did.
Orisa though.
But did they have Orisa?
Yeah, they have
Oh.
Orisa.
This
I think
area.
so.
I played Tracer on watch point.
Reinhardt is fine here. That's not the point. Not the point. Reinhardt is fine here. Thing is, you're not playing for this area at all. You're playing to spam this area. That's should be simple. Like you have an Ashe on this high ground. What is your Ashe gonna do if you don't allow them to push in? Nothing. The Ashe can't do anything unless they actually do something in this area. So that is whatever. Like comps are comps. We do what we do. We have the Torp, we have the Ashe, that's our core. And then things can switch around, and today we switch around again. That is just a purely comp-based thing, where I am in charge. So that's not too big of a deal. But what is big of a deal is understanding rotations. I already addressed this before, a while ago I believe, on how to rotate against enemy positions. And it was even this map, this very map. I'm gonna do it on purpose and do it on this map again. Who can tell me what rotation theory is for off angles and point pressure combined with damage output for spam on this point with the TP play they're doing?
Cross angle.
So they're gonna be dropping probably through window if they TP up on the high ground there, or onto stairs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to be making sure that like in that room or like down those stairs we have a lot of crossfire, cross angles, and a lot of spam. So maybe playing one main could be good, and then having another cross angle from the backside where the mini is. That's all I could think of.
Yeah.
But then when we the only problem I struggle with that is like as an Orisa was trying to get onto point and forcing point pressure. But I think I messed up my shot.
Don't we hold like the opposite side of the window, like behind the bell? If they do this?
Yeah, but we still want crossfire.
I want our DPS to now answer.
Yeah, well, I have to look for off angle, and if they're don't have any access to the window, then that's probably the best spot I can sit.
Yeah. So where
If
does
we
our
have a-
Torbjorn go?
Oh, I think I usually end up going like main where the arrow is pointing from, like that, you know.
Nobody see the brick.
Oh, that's a brig. Oh, she fell. That's why I looked. Okay.
If you're playing, if you're playing Ryan Diva, I will be like, here. Now you can absolutely understand that's a brick.
Yeah.
I would expect you to actually go in on that. Why? Because a brick has messed up the rotation. But that's beside the point, right? She just retreats, it's whatever, but here we do need our rotation. And all of us are now in this angle. All of us. All 6 of us. So, this begs the question, with rotations, why are the people that should be doing their rotations respectively to the win conditions of our comp on a point like this not doing it?
I kind of panicked because I didn't even hear the TP or so.
I
when they
didn't really want
explained
to.
me, I just like got as far away as possible.
I don't want to split off from the team and then just get like frozen and molten by like Sim and May and their team comp because it's a spooky team comp.
Yeah, so why would you not play the Hanzo version here?
Well, that's what I was doing, I assume, until they May walled me off. But I guess I could have gone main and then still done it from further away, yeah.
Yeah? Because I had a look at your damage output today. It was not much of an issue, right? Like you do know somewhat where to aim your crosshair to get damage in. But it does mean we actually need the damage to go in there.
Yeah.
And then, if this happens, how are we possibly gonna win such a fight? Like 20 acts like this is the first time an enemy has ever done that TP. You would think like after like seeing the enemy do this like 20 times, you would learn by then, but apparently not.
Yeah, I mean every other time the TP makes a really loud sound, except this time.
Yeah, but even then, you still act the same. You panic. So rotation theory here is purely based on how do you rotate according to what you see. So you don't necessarily need the sound cue, because I know sound cues in Overwatch are somewhat of a fucked up system right now, because I don't know what the fuck is going on. Even I don't hear...
Today I wasn't hearing ball slams a lot of the time, like, I don't know what it was. I just, like, I would see a slam and not hear it at all.
The Echo Diva bombs fuck out as well quite badly.
Yeah. But that still means you have this.
Yeah.
Just because you don't hear doesn't mean you don't see. This...
Yeah, but I mean, there's also times where I like fly up into the sky.
Yeah, I'm
and
not
don't
talking
hear the
about
slam
your ball.
either.
I'm talking about this map. If you want to talk about micro, you can do that later.
Okay.
This is a TP you can see and hear from far away 20. Even if you don't hear the actual TP, this was already called out. So you can't be surprised anymore. It's impossible. Your team has already said they're gonna TP.
Yeah.
So there's another rotation you could do here. What's that?
Wait, you mean when the TP comes through, or right now where we paused?
No, I'll go back to where.
I mean, my other rotation could be to go to the main entrance of point.
Yeah, because I don't understand why you keep giving up this area. Like, what are you afraid of?
Yeah, I was about to say the same. Like, you could just stay up on the hut, even drop down to the perch, just not stay on the catwalk, because they're either gonna... Can they TP to the hut high ground there from main? Does that reach?
They would actually have to push a bit forward before they can actually reach it.
Okay.
And they have to have. They can do one with a May wall, but you can scout that.
Yeah. So this is something that is very weird, 20. Like if they have a diva, I can somewhat understand, but even then, a diva can't kill you. Not by yourself. So rotation theory would be, okay, where do they TP to? That's the first top process you should have. Where do they TP to? Well, you're not gonna know, even if you don't hear it,
Point, then we can look at.
because you don't see it.
Yeah.
So here the question is, not just for you, but for the entire team, how do you rotate against a TP like this, on a map like this? So we already established that if the rotation we did, that Torp could go over here and he'll be fine. Right?
Yep.
But that's not the rotation I want. Because Torp has 2 jobs. And this literally puts him into only a single job, and he'll only stay in that single job until there's enough pressure away from point for him to show himself.
So if you want to rotate against TP like that, would we be creating an off angle or crossfire with 20 playing main with Lazy, and then the rest of the team be sitting in like the mini where we can have frontline pressure from the Ryan, from the Torb, and then we can look at pushing on the point from there?
Yeah? But even then, if you do it just like how we did today, you will not touch the point.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what other option is
So
there?
what happens if we rotate through main and we push onto main? So we push onto point from main, and we can leave some people there.
Like this?
Well, yeah, if we need a touch, but then I guess we're ruining the whole crossfire.
No, but if your Torp is here, right?
Yeah, so then we
And
leave
you're
half, we
here.
leave some there.
And you're here, and you can touch the point. And your Ash rotates here, because they TP'd over here.
So Bandit already wants to be up in the main entrance when they TP up high there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, instead of rotating right, I just rotate main.
So
Okay.
But
you
then
already have
also-
you have control of courtyard, right? Like it's yours.
Yeah, yeah.
And from here, the enemy has 2 options. They do this, or they do this, or they try to do something about the Ash. Well, if they chase Ash into Narnia, Ash can just piss off to their spawn and be like, well, you do you, man. In the meantime, you just spam them up build ults and, well, you'll be fine. Because they're playing double shield without a Lucio. Ash won't die. Those are their options. This is a rotation. This is a rotation you've seen Titans do with Dive, where they do this, and the team does this, and then they just do this, and the only reason they didn't win that fight is due to the fact that the DPS were not set up. Everyone remembers that video, right?
Yep.
Negative.
Yeah, because you haven't seen it, Lazy.
Yeah, I haven't.
So from here, these are the 2 options they really have. In first, they usually want to contest this area. So if your Ryan is already over here, he's in a good spot, right? Like if they wall that, you'll be like, oh well, whatever. Your wall has been used. I can now, if I want, rotate here and then still touch point.
Yeah.
So
And then even if I push through main and I get walled off there, then we still have the healers on the mini, right? Like
Exactly.
that mini area.
Exactly.
Okay, so they can
Your Torp is there as well. So if they push
Yeah,
into
and if
that,
yeah. And then if they wall off our healers, then I just back up main through, like, just pretty much kite the aggression.
yeah. So in this scenario,
Okay.
you have to think rotation theory, and this is something that I spoke about in Busan as well on Mecha Base. How if a plan fails, we need to rotate accordingly. But this is an actual example of 2CP, and 2CP attacks are all about outsmarting the enemy, so to say, forcing mistakes, and these are our mistakes. Because how are you going to recover from this? There is no recovering from this. They already have the point. They already have what they want. They have the space. Your walled, charged. They will just melt you. We have no crossfire. Eventually both DPS get there. But by then, what are they gonna do? Sure, they kill Orisa. And sure, we get a resin. But you see how much of a shit show this is.
Yeah.
Where it could be much more controlled. Like a controlled fight, where we control the momentum. And the only way to do that is if we have proper setups and proper stages for rotation that the enemy are making, so that if they do go from here down and they take this space and they wall off our Rhine, this rotation is too long, or they have no Lucio, like they have no Lucio, for them to actually go in on our backline. So the Rhine can just rotate here. Maybe will not be up because it's a long cooldown, and in the meantime we have still been spamming them. Also, if you're over here 20, you can see through these holes, and it's a pretty nice spot. So just something to think about. But here you just see rotations. Rotations and more rotations. Like, everyone understands this, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
This shouldn't be rocket science, it's just... We're very slow at executing these type of rotations. And... well, because we lose this fight pretty hard. This is something we spoke about before. There is a VOD review from a while back where we discussed exactly positions, but now I include actual rotations for everyone to think about. So there's no excuse anymore to at least not fuck up this map. So you can play Ana here, I don't really care. The Zen Orsa was just a bit of an experiment.
They're gonna have Shadow, Bap, Brick will be closer.
But here, we're going back to defensive advantage. Going back to rotations. Because we're gonna mostly talk about rotations. How do you properly rotate on a map like this?
Would it be rotating high grounds? Okay. I'm not gonna using Shadow, then I'm gonna switch it to dive tanks, eh?
So, you have a turret left, you have Ash right, you have Dizzy main.
We can still keep spam though. We're trying to make sure that we're really punishing the
They are coming from right with TP. This is a normal snowball play, right?
Yeah.
How do you now prevent this? This is a rotation. The scout is done.
Yeah.
The target is the point. And the staging is done as well. They are rotating. So literally all the steps have already been done.
Yeah.
For us. Because they're snowballing. And snowballing is like the easiest thing to see coming. You just have to react to it properly.
Okay, they're coming close. I'm gonna
So they move off 20. It's 20. Does not understand how Diva works.
drop a point pressure early.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna play back. I'm playing back.
If
I'm
we
playing back. Had our high grounds and we just hold our high grounds and we gave them like maybe a tick or two and we just spam them out, wouldn't we have still been in a good position? Like,
No,
we setting up.
you should have just, like 20 should have just hold here. Dizzy, you
Yeah,
should
20 was still there.
have peeled. Josh should have stayed here, and then all you had to do was hold this angle and you'll be fine. They pop that symbol that covers around this. Or this. Whatever. Kind of shitty symbol they do.
We're trying to make sure that we're really punishing the
Let's see where they put it expression. That's this one. Okay. So they have this one that means you can just sit here, and it means 20 now has a full vision on this. And Josh is covering this, right?
Yeah.
So your DPS are covering both sides, it just means you need to play passive, and if they do push into you too aggressively, you could shatter them. Potentially.
Yeah. Pressure early?
Oh,
It's simple. 20 survives, that shouldn't have happened. But that's just more of an example of these guys were not amazing.
I'm playing back on point. I'm playing back on point.
But here, with everything we have, all the resources, you can give up a tick, but Josh has decided to already go close. Do we want you there, Josh?
Nope.
Where do we want you?
God spot to spam.
Yeah? Do you think you're gonna turn into a Reaper anytime soon, when we're not even really playing Brawl?
Nope. I'm just gonna feed.
Can we focus?
So again, from the 6 steps from rotation, we see a rotation, we have our staging, we have our damage outputs. Their Diva keeps trying to do something about our Ashe, but it's not gonna happen. and everyone else is playing a left side of Ana, which is fine.
Bombing point. Go.
Due to the fact of the comp we're playing basically for ult economy. Everyone understands this, right?
Yeah.
We are making them rotate to certain areas so that we can pull out an ult economy that will make us just basically win, because this is pretty severe. Right now they have one more person than us on the point, which doesn't severely increase our response, combined with the fact that right now we're basically just feeling each other out, plus they're using ult, we're using ults, but our ults are better to use just the whole point. Bob in that case. So we did give up one tick. That's fine. Like, we are okay with giving up ticks, as long as it's not the last one. Everyone understands that, right? So we're rotating, we're forcing rotations, we're setting up stages, we're setting up our own kill boxes, we're building our ults, and then we're using that to our advantage in order to win fights.
Yeah.
All of this comes from one thing. Rotations. Nothing else, right? Like, this is just rotation. The enemy rotates, we rotate. Enemy rotates, we rotate. Even if the rotation we did was dog shit on the first point, that's beside the point. It still comes down to the same concept. So you all see the effect, right?
Yeah.
So the difference is just understanding how to make it to put it to your advantage. Because the defensive advantage here is pretty simple. It's the high ground. Like, that is quite simple. Like, this high ground is so crucial that if you don't take it, I will yell at you, and then it's very aware of that. Because I do it often to him. When enemy is sitting here and you don't go there. I get frustrated because it's stupid. So you need to force a rotation. How do you force a rotation? Well, you're gonna soft dive that, because that's what we learn. We soft dive. We soft dive for resources, and after that we can touch a point to force a rotation, and after we force a rotation, we can properly attack the point. The opposite is true here as well. They're trying to snowball, but we have the high ground. Are they going to cap when we have the high ground? We have the map control, we have the defensive advantage, and they're not stopping it. The decisive diva desperately trying to do something about it. Simple, right?
Yeah.
So this snowball of them,
He was on me though.
it sounds interesting, but it's not. And 20 dying is just his own fault.
Big purple.
And from there on, just because of respawns and everything, like, as long as it's only one person, it doesn't increase that much. But it's still something on the long term. That's why it's still important that you eventually do kill all of them one by one.
Yeah.
So it should be obvious, right? Rotations, you win. That is literally our entire defense in a nutshell on this map, or in 2CP maps in general. You scout, you see, you do. Any questions about that? This defense is very easy on 2CP, you have a very big advantage. Setting all the silence. So, offense is a whole different scenario. Like I already said, as long as you properly do something about the win condition of the enemy, good win.
Would it have been better if I instantly swapped to Winston
No, he had shatter.
after losing first? Okay.
Bennett had shatter. And with the danger of snowball, you want to make sure that you still have all your ults.
Yeah.
Like, snowballing is very dangerous in 2CP, so if you then switch heroes, try and fight for future fights, you're basically giving up that fight that you actually need to win. Or at least stall out long enough so that they can't get ticks. Because that's 2CP, like, you can't allow them to snowball you. But attack is much different. We're diving. And diving, is much more complicated. That's also why we have that dive fought. Also for this map.
Cool.
So you would think we know how to attack this map, right?
I guess.
Hold on.
Sigma. 3, 2, 1.
They're basically running what we're running, except they have a map with Orisa and Sigma.
I
Ash Catwalk with Messi.
just want to make sure for Diva over Winston.
I
If they've got like a really heavy spam or they've got a lot of CC, I stick to Diva and otherwise just go Winston. If they
It's different. Diva's also about the certain abilities that the enemy has. Like, are there critical abilities enough for you to not play Diva? For example, Anna's or Moira Orbs. They could really fuck you up.
Dynamite, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went Diva because they had Orisa Pool and Dyna, and if say Bandit has to go in, then I can Matrix like Torbright clicks if he gets stunned and so on.
That's fine.
I have a question. So we play this comp a lot on our Hanamura attack. With this week, Moira's banned. So what are we playing in this kind of scenario over the Moira?
Well, I would
'Cause I know that
prefer we don't play hero bands this week. Because we have no tournament, as God has already said.
Does Metal State have
No,
ban?
there is a
That's-
Metal State tournament that we are deciding whether we want to enter. The registrations close on the 23rd. They might use the bans if I'm correct. They're using competitive bans, so if they participate on Saturday, would be using those bans.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll ask you if it's worth time though. Tagged you in the channel.
Like, if it's a shit tournament, then just don't waste our time.
I mean, it's South African. It's kind of.
Yeah,
But it's publicity, so like it's the
Should
only
ask.
reason.
You should ask Warren.
do we need that publicity when we have 80k league in RNG?
It's a 1 day only though. It's just Saturday.
Yeah, but it's still one full day we're wasting our time on.
Yeah, I'll chat to you afterwards though about it.
No,
But-
I don't have time after this.
I'll chat to you tomorrow then.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine, relax.
I
But
mean,
anyway, the
like-
question's still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to enter that tournament, we would need to know how to play without a Moira on attack.
Yeah.
What would be the
In
suggestion?
general, like, if there's a time when Moira can't get banned, like, I mean, it's banned.
You can put an Ana on here. It just means you need to play in certain sidelines. You need to understand what the enemy is running. So if the enemy is running a Diva, it's tricky for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in this scenario, they're not playing Diva, so that means Ana is sort of free. I would still prefer Moira in this scenario, but in the case we would be playing Ana, this is map geometry knowledge. So understanding if you're setting up here, they can't really do a whole lot, and if they hard focus you, we're just going to capture the point.
I mean, if I'm set up there, it's kind of hard for me to help my team.
Yeah,
I
but you're
think
not.
that we don't need to go take the left high ground. Like we can force them off there, but that's not like priority. If we want to fight, we want to fight in courtyard or in main
No.
at some point.
We're still taking that high ground.
Yeah, you still want to force them off it for sure, but it's not staging from it.
So if
That makes
Moira's
sense.
if Moira's banned in the future, I need to make sure I know like the nade for that top left high ground then or what, because then I can actually kind of help.
No, we don't need it there. Like I said, you're just gonna stand up here. And this is very much that dive video. Very, very much. Because we're gonna set up here to force their rotation. Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna let us stay here? Or are they gonna go somewhere?
Mhm.
So this is... I might as well just make all of you rewatch that video, because apparently none of you remember it. What would happen here is if the enemy goes here, you can now go up here and now you're playing on the sidelines. Plus you can scout if there's anyone here that can do something about your Ana. Then Ana would drop down and start taking this area where they would sit up here. And then you would dive that where the Ana would rotate here, have this angle, and you would dive them there. Ana can nade from there, Ana has line of sight from there, and you're in good position. If they, however, decide to rotate here for whatever reason, nade, dive, done.
Okay.
It all comes down to rotations. Like that's the topic so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the initial step is to take this area. Well, we have a Moira, so back to the Moira part. We take this high ground. And Bandit forgets how to play ball for a second.
Today I finished it. I fixed it because I got put on the wrong place, and then today I wanted to make sure that I got the right place.
Yeah.
And then I did it.
But look at where we're going. Like, where is our information? Who is giving us information right now?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Like,
oh, it's very bad.
I do not really understand what everyone's trying to accomplish here. We have Josh here, we have Bandit here, Lazy's over here, and Brandon and Dizzy are over there, and then Tracer is still getting in position. Like, Tracer has to get in position. He's doing fine. He's getting where he's supposed to go.
I'm also trying to get into position.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily need to take this entire rotation.
Okay.
You could stay here.
What else would I do?
You could stay here and wait. If we're diving here, then are you not in the perfect position?
I mean, why would we ever dive there?
If they rotate there.
Wait, where was that arrow pointed to? To the choke?
Yeah, in the choke.
But we're going for point pressure.
No, we're not. Otherwise, it would already be point pressure. We're going for setups. We're going for rotations. In this scenario, enemy is still set up here. That means you are perfectly safe over here. And if we are going to go there, it's literally press W and you're there. If we are going to go over here, you'll be fine. Hammond is self-sustainable, Genji is self-sustainable until it comes to you. Lazy is gonna be just fine, and Tracer is self-sustainable. Like, we don't necessarily need your healing until we actually do something. Are we doing something right now?
I mean, we're setting up, and I assume the fight to happen somewhere near point.
Yeah. In this entire duration, just like what I just explained with you and Anna, they are now in that specific location.
Okay, but if we're playing like this, right? Then why Moira over Honor?
Mid-fight value. Plus, you're gonna damage them.
Okay.
It's purely hero-based. Like, Anna is cool and all, but the moment that Anna doesn't get proper line of sight here, it's gonna be tricky, and even Overwatch League it happened. Whereas if Moira is over here, she's gonna be like, well, I'm here, and if you want to do something about me, I press this button. It's much more useful. That's why Moira is just made more useful in this SR. But yeah, back to the topic. They have done a rotation that is literally in the dive vault. And we're putting point pressure for what? What are we point pressuring for? They've already rotated, like we already did what we wanted. The rotation is already done. We only put point pressure for a rotation, but they've already done it. So why are we putting point pressure?
Yeah.
Like, you see it, right? Like, their rotation is done. They're split, they're everywhere. And the only reason they're this close is because you decide to do this. Because if they still were over here, like they were initially, and you hooked over here, it's a pal drive, 20 is in position, your Moira would be over here on core charge, your Diva would be on this high ground and could cover from there, and then Genji is also there, like Genji was here, yeah. Josh actually was there. I think.
Yeah, he was on the catwalk.
Yeah, Josh was already there. So there was no reason for us to do what we did. This is purely a rotation that we ourselves have forced. Except after we did it, for whatever reason, we decided now is the moment to still put that point pressure that we initially use for the rotation. So you see the mistake, Bandit.
Yeah.
And you see how much value we could have gotten if we actually followed up on the rotation that was after this. Because they backed up, right? They used resources, they used heal, we use resources to take space. High ground is now ours. It's very good. Laser needs to heal himself, he'll be fine. Because he doesn't really need any of this healing, he has his own. So all we need to do now is stage. Like, they are rotating. Like, Dizzy can now tell they are rotating. Lazy can tell they are rotating. This is a rotation. They are in the movement of rotating.
You don't have to step there, you can always just shot. Okay, we can stabilize. I'm gonna look at forcing point pressure and then from there we can push on. Okay. Top tactic.
But our information now is gone. How are you going to scout a rotation if you don't see it? So...
You're saying that we should like sit on hut for a bit longer to just look at them?
No, not just that. I'm saying if to rewatch the Krypton VOD basically. Because Titans goes here, Titans goes there, rotate from there, Gladiators, and then they die from there. You wanna see it? I can open it.
I actually don't know why I dropped.
No, this is just more of a team thing, right? Like, everyone needs to be on the same page. Like I said, Bandit is only responsible for vocalizing that we do these 6 steps, but everyone should have the game sense and understanding on where they are supposed to be.
I know I should have set up on hut, but I actually don't know why I dropped there.
I don't know either. If you can tell me, then I wouldn't know. Like, can't reach your brain.
I think it was maybe just worried I was gonna take the spam. But, yeah.
Yeah, but you still went in window after that, so
Are you ready? Can we go now?
it's a bit weird.
I'm ready.
And eventually you join Bandit, which is whatever. Because he's the one that decided he wants to go point, right?
Yeah.
I think I still went camp walk to go dive back line. There
Yeah.
I came from this.
Like, you did join that fight, it's just... This is a massive question mark.
Yeah.
Like what value? What value is there here?
Yeah, I think so. What I did is, so after we did this map, I started realizing, like, especially like what I was doing wrong. Like, I went over it quickly because I felt like I was feeding on ball here, and then in today's scrum, it felt much better. Like I wasn't doing who knows what.
Yeah, but I'm also now explaining actual foundation behind it, right? Like, there's an actual rotation behind it that you need, because this goes for every single 2CP map in existence.
Yeah.
All of them, like even Paris, no matter how bad that map is, because it is. It's a bad map.
Getting deleted.
Fuck that map. But yeah, all 2CP maps are in that concept the same. You are trying to make them go somewhere so that you can this properly, use your comp to your advantage.
Yeah.
So that means we need scouting information. So once you have scouting information, you have step 2. Resources, targets. What do we need? Do we need the points? Well, it kind of depends on what they're gonna do. Right?
Yeah.
And once they have done that, we go into step 3. And we're gonna look at, okay, we need to stage, we need to properly set up and wait for their rotation. They rotated very nicely, in fact. It was a good rotation for us. Because they are now all over there. But we're not in position at all, because we're in a weird position. We have these 3 over here, Lazy's over here, 20's over there, and then Josh is slowly making the rotation there. Bandit can initiate from here. Paul can, like, it's possible. But can these people, without using their abilities?
No.
Can he?
No.
So, rotation-wise, we are forcing rotations that we want. We just have to capitalize on them.
I mean, let's say I was coming from main. How on earth am I going to get into right-click range without using fed? Like, efficiently?
Look at how much
like
time you have.
distance.
Look at how much time you have.
They're all playing back. I'm gonna force point pressure when they come out.
If by now you are not in courtyard, there's a problem.
I mean, I could have also just W'd like that from where I was in that point in time as well.
No, because you cannot get through here without using the ability. because this area is under pressure.
Okay, I see.
But this area is not. This area is maybe the top turret. They had a top turret somewhere. Oh, it's already destroyed. It was over here.
Yeah.
Like that could have been a danger to you, right? That's
What about
annoying.
the Ash?
The Ash is already
Well, I guess
zoned.
she's distracted right now, so I have to like wait until the Ash.
Around here, if Lazy tells you they're rotating, you can already go inside the pagoda. Because here you have cover, right? Nothing can really do something to you. And Lazy can tell you that. That's simple, right?
Yeah, okay.
And from here, there's a lot of options. You could now go courtyard, or you could follow this rotation, you have a mini, and you could peek and get your own scouting information in case you want it. It's a possibility. Either way, this is already almost the right mouse button effective range. I think it's around, more as here, it's somewhere around here. So you could already reach the turret from here. It's simple, right? Like this is just using the map geometry so that you can get in certain positions. You could even go to the high ground if you felt like it. That just means
I did that once.
not really worth it.
Match, but I thought it was bad, so that's why I didn't do it again.
It's a long rotation that you don't really need, whereas this is also a long rotation that you don't really need, whereas this is a very short rotation where you could continuously put in damage orbs and be like, I'm here. You want to do something about me? You can. It's not gonna work, but you can.
Okay.
Like
I mean, normally the reason I like come around this side, like, is because people often need lots and lots of healing.
Yeah, but that shouldn't happen. Like that is the team's responsibility. If they take too much damage here, that's their own fault.
Still
Like-
bring us close. And...
Yeah, like, Lazy was the only real person that took some serious damage here, and he can heal himself.
No, I mean like what's about to happen.
Oh, here, but this is just feeding. This is bandit feeding.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Like I said, like if people take too much damage on times where we shouldn't be taking damage, it's usually the player's own fault. And we want to eliminate those problems so that we can actually climb higher, right?
Okay, I'll no longer make this rotation then.
Action point, okay.
Unless they're playing hard brawl, then you don't want to stay there. But playing dive against hard brawl would be not a good idea because why bandit?
Because Brawl can't dive.
There you go.
Triangle. Wow.
Yeah, so we only play dive because of what the enemy is playing, and that means in this scenario you are playing the Moira, and that means in that scenario we are going into certain locations. Oh, fuck.
They're all playing back. I'm gonna force point pressure when they come out. We can dive the Ash. Are you ready? Can we go on the Ash?
Time goes too fast.
I was gonna send a message earlier, but you're covering important parts, so I left it.
Yeah, I really need to cover this rotation part because this is a good foundation material.
Mm-hmm. That's why I've been
Um,
writing notes. That's why I didn't interject.
Yeah, because considering the time, what we still have to go over are cleanups. You
Yeah.
can make notes of this, Scott. So cleanups,
Cool.
proper highbound control, the split focus of the team where we're not focused.
Okay.
Shadow theory, which is still purple, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diva theory as well. Yeah, those things are coming in Blizzard Worlds. Scouting has been addressed now.
Okay. I'll remember to add that in here. Cool.
Blizzard World comp, we discussed it now as well. Ult tracking still needs work, but that's something for later. And then planning around ults, and ult economy is gonna come. So ult economy and how to properly use ults, and using that to our advantage. Then momentum theory is gonna come, rollout theory is gonna come, and finally stacking. And for stacking, I turned the screen to this because you can actually see all the icons of people not being together. Did this on purpose.
Saying no.
And then we're done.
Okay.
So that still has to
maybe
be
another
covered.
hour.
Yeah.
Another hour, and we can cover that. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got it written out. Yeah, that's fine. I understand that.
And then that is the entire foundation for what we're going to work on for at least a month.
Cool.
Micro-wise, everyone still is going to have different
So
jobs.
it'll be, the way I look at this, it'll be a total of about 10 pages of notes, more or less.
Something like that.
10 to 11, yeah.
Yeah.
For the full document.